Weakness does not arrive in your life as an enemy with weapons. It arrives as comfort. It speaks in whispers that tell you to rest longer, to avoid struggle, to take the easy path. It disguises itself as self-care when in reality it is self-sabotage. To reject weakness is to reject the soft voice inside you that convinces you to betray your own future. It is to cut away every excuse that tells you you are fine where you are. Weakness feeds you lies that soothe your ego, but starve your destiny. Rejecting it is not about anger. It is about survival. If you tolerate it, it grows. If you reject it, you grow. Every time you give in to weakness, you give power to the version of yourself that wants nothing more than mediocrity. It is not the world holding you back. It is not fate or circumstance. It is the moments you surrendered to laziness when discipline was calling. It is the times you chose distraction when focus was available. Weakness thrives in those tiny moments of surrender. Rejecting it requires awareness. You must be ruthless enough to see those moments for what they are. Attempts to pull you into a life without greatness. The man who rejects weakness in the small things becomes unshakable in the large things. Weakness does not just erode your body, it erodes your mind. The more you listen to it, the more you believe its story. You begin to think you are fragile. You begin to believe you cannot endure. You begin to accept limitations that are not real. Rejecting weakness means refusing to internalize those lies. It means reminding yourself daily that you are not defined by urges, emotions, or fatigue. You are defined by your ability to rise above them. Every battle against weakness strengthens identity. Each victory proves you are not a victim of impulses, but the architect of your own discipline. The people around you will normalize weakness because it makes them comfortable. They will encourage you to relax, to indulge, to quit when it gets hard. They do this because your rejection of weakness exposes their surrender to it. If you hold yourself to higher standards, they feel judged without you saying a word. This is why rejecting weakness also means rejecting the validation of others. You cannot live by their expectations and become who you are meant to be. You must stand alone in your rejection, even when mocked, even when misunderstood. Rejecting weakness is not about perfection. It is about momentum. You will stumble, you will fall, you will lose battles. But the war is not lost unless you stay down. Weakness wants you to identify with failure. It wants you to believe one mistake means you are finished. But rejecting weakness means rising every time, no matter how many times it happens. It is not about never failing. It is about refusing to remain fallen. This resilience separates the average from the exceptional. The body reflects whether you have rejected weakness. Every skipped workout, every poor choice compounds into fragility. The body does not lie. It tells the truth of your discipline. To reject weakness physically is to demand more from yourself daily, to endure discomfort, to train even when energy feels absent. The body responds to rejection by adapting, by hardening, by becoming a vessel capable of carrying your vision. Weakness cannot live in a body that is consistently tested because discipline destroys its grip. The mind must be trained with the same intensity. Weakness thrives in mental clutter. It grows in doubt, procrastination, and endless distraction. To reject it, you must sharpen your focus. Learn to sit in silence. Learn to choose work over dopamine. Learn to prioritize long-term progress over short-term relief. Each mental battle you win expands your capacity to hold vision. Weakness dies when you teach your mind to obey your command instead of chasing fleeting impulses. Mental discipline is the true fortress of those who rise. Rejecting weakness will make you misunderstood. Society profits from your fragility. Entire industries depend on you giving in to impulse, choosing distraction, and avoiding discomfort. When you refuse, you threaten their system. You will be told you are too intense, too rigid, too obsessed. Do not listen. The world wants compliant workers, not sovereign leaders. Rejecting weakness is rebellion. It is the refusal to live as prey. It is the declaration that you will not trade your potential for the crumbs of comfort. The reward for rejecting weakness is not applause, it is freedom. You no longer wake up ashamed of the choices you made. You no longer shrink when faced with challenge. You no longer fear discomfort because you have embraced it. This freedom is rare because it requires discipline most will never choose. But once you taste it, you cannot return. It is the taste of sovereignty. It is the crown worn only by those who chose the hard path while others collapsed into the easy. Reject weakness because it is the one enemy that disguises itself as your ally. It will dress itself as safety, as comfort, as logic, as self-love. But its aim is always destruction. The future you dream of will never be built on its terms. Every step forward demands rejection. Every empire is carved from sacrifice. Every crown is earned in discomfort. The moment you reject weakness, you reclaim your life. The moment you reject weakness, you declare war on mediocrity. And that war, if fought daily, is the one war worth winning.